Welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're here, because today we're unpacking a truly fascinating behavioral case study. We're looking at one of the oldest, yet honestly, most profoundly accurate models of human psychology and persuasion we've got on record. It's the classic fable of the wind and the sun, and we're treating it not just as a story, but as an absolute masterclass in the mechanics of persuasion. If you love figuring out what makes people tick and how to effectively influence outcomes, you are going to love this.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to think about your own life for a quick second. When you desperately need someone to change their behavior, what's your go-to strategy? Do you push? Do you argue? Or do you take a different approach? Well, we're going to answer that exact question by looking at a very specific scenario, and the answer might literally change how you handle your next conflict.
Part 1. The argument over true strength. Let's see how this rivalry kicks off.
You know, every great experiment starts with a hypothesis, and usually a bit of a conflict. Our inciting incident here? The wind aggressively challenges the sun, stating flatly, "I am stronger than you." And the sun calmly replies, "No, you're not." It's basically a massive battle of egos, setting up a test between two totally different philosophies of power.
Think of this as the ultimate scientific wager. We've got two completely different elemental subjects, right? Embodying two entirely different methodologies, just waiting for the perfect opportunity to prove who's actually the heavy hitter. And, as luck would have it, right at that moment, the universe delivers their test subject, a random traveler just walking down the road wrapped up tight in a shawl. The wind and the sun quickly agree on the parameters of the test. The victory condition? It's simple but brilliant. Whoever can separate this traveler from his shawl gets declared the stronger of the two. The parameters are locked in. Let the experiment begin.
Part 2, Trial 1, Brute Force. So the wind immediately demands to take the first turn. Notice the incredibly aggressive energy at play here. This is a strategy built entirely, and I mean entirely, on overwhelming physical pressure. He blew with all his might to literally tear that shawl right off the traveler's shoulders. The wind's whole mindset is that if you apply enough direct, forceful pressure, the obstacle just has to yield. It's a pure, unadulterated attack.
But watch what actually happens here. We enter this wild, paradoxical cause and effect loop. The wind blows harder, and in response, the traveler grips the shawl tighter to his body, right? The external pressure actually creates internal resistance. It's crazy. The harder the push, the harder the pushback, until finally, totally exhausted, the struggle just ends when the wind's turn is up. The brute force strategy completely and totally fails to hit the objective.
Which brings us to Part 3, Trial 2, Gentle Warmth. Now, the environment shifts completely. It's the sun's turn, and we move away from that aggressive attack mode into a strategy of relaxed, inviting warmth. Let's move to and see how this builds. See, the sun doesn't attack the shawl, it changes the environment. Step 1, the sun just smiles warmly. Step 2, as the traveler keeps walking, the environment grows warmer and warmer. And Step 3, it escalates to hotter and hotter. It's this progressive strategy that doesn't force the issue at all, but rather naturally changes the conditions around the traveler. And wow, the results are immediate. The traveler felt the warmth of the smiling sun. He wasn't fighting it, he was just experiencing it. First, he voluntarily let the shawl fall open. Then, because the environment had changed so drastically, he didn't even need it anymore, taking it off and just dropping it right there on the ground. The sun achieved the exact same objective, not by fighting the traveler, but by working perfectly with his natural responses.
Moving on to Part 4, the surprising outcome. Time to analyze the data.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how incredibly clear the contrast is in our data. The element of the wind used the method of tearing by force, and the result? The traveler just gripped the shawl tighter. Total failure. But the element of the sun used the method of smiling warmly, and the result was the traveler dropping the shawl completely. Total success. I mean, the data just speaks for itself.
The conclusion of our little experiment here is pretty much indisputable. The sun was officially declared stronger than the wind. It completely validates the hypothesis that soft power, environment building, and warmth can absolutely overpower aggressive brute strength any day of the week. And that leads us to Part 5, the ultimate moral lesson.
So, the crucial point is, this isn't just some old story about the weather. The moral is that brute force can't achieve what a gentle smile can.
Seriously, whether you're negotiating a massive business deal or, just trying to get your kids to clean their room, remember this. When you aggressively try to strip away someone's defenses, they just hold on tighter. But if you create a warm, welcoming environment, they'll lower their defenses entirely on their own.
I want to leave you with this final thought to carry with you today. Think about the conflicts in your own life right now. Next time you want someone to take off their shawl, next time you really need them to change their mind, drop their defenses, or alter their behavior, are you going to blow with all your might? Or are you going to shine? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to dive into our next topic with you.